What's up, amazing people? Welcome to another amazing episode of Hottakes with S2E13. As usual, I'm in the studio with official David.
Hi.
And it's not Hottakes without our amazing guests. We have Mr. Zugos. Mr. Zugos, interesting about yourself.
Thanks for having me, by the way. I'm an architect, I'm a designer, I do interior, I do construction, design.
Wow, that's nice. And we also have Mr. Nweze, David.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
Interesting about yourself.
I'm a graduate of political science department and I'm into furniture, like I said.
Okay.
I'm still learning actually. I'm an apprentice, exactly.
Okay.
Guys, on this episode of Hottakes with S2E13, our topic is, now that the Supreme Court's judgment has come and it has gone, what do you think is the way forward for we, the Nigerians?
So,
I don't want to go first.
Well, the outcome of the 2023 presidential election, is that which is and forever remain a controversy among Nigerian citizens and beyond. You know, we are now in a system whereby democracy is being distorted into what I can't explain. So now we have a new president in the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You know, whenever campaign is on, there's always this excitement as well, because we will be having this impression that okay, this government that is coming into power, we have a lot of things in the national country. So along the line, you know, what they expect is not what we are seeing actually right now, as Khocee. So, you know, and the problem all trickles down to the political elites, that state actors made, you know, once the political system is well structured, is in the right place, then every other system, the socio-economic and so on, the cultural, they will begin to align. And there's something more specific about our system which needs to be adjusted. We are more concentrated in politics rather than governance. You know, politics literally means to have power.
Okay.
And in the view of one prominent scholar of political science in the life of Howard Laswell, he said that politics is who gets what, when, and how, or what this is out to offer. Let me just break it down. You have to do it. It's not centralized. I don't know if you get it. It's not centralized. It's more about how you will get the political and economic power without putting the people into consideration, those who are governing. Then come to talk about governance. Governance for me, I equate governance to welfareism. Welfareism has to do with the welfare of the citizen, that is social welfare, the livelihood of how things ought to be. So what we have in Nigeria is like more or less what it is rather than what it ought to be. So the system, man, is really fucked up. So if only we have the governance, the right people in power, now they have to focus on the what is it called? The system of government, which is the three arms of government, the three tiers of government, and the three levels of government, which is the judiciary, the legislative and the executive, then the state, local and federal. Then coming to the arms of government, the arms of government have to do with this. The arms of government, we need to readjust our system. The judiciary has to be independent of its own. And you know, we are now in a country whereby some group of political gladiators who feel they have the economic and political will to drive this country, put the judiciary into their pocket. The judiciary, which is the last hope of a common man right now for Nigeria, I don't know what to call it, but that aside. And then for the three levels of government, which is the state, the federal, and the local level, you know, the system of Nigeria requires federalism, and now our federalism is not well matured. Is what do I call it? Poor federalism, whatever. It's not even, we don't call it a federal system, because in the more developed countries of the world, in a federal structure, well-planned federal structure, the state controls its resources. The local, that is in the developed countries, they call it the municipal, and so on and so forth. They have their own autonomy, like they govern their locality, they manage their resources. You know. So now, in our own country, in Nigeria, do that. Our local government is more or less under the state. Okay, let's just use Anambra as an example. Like, our local government is not autonomous, unlike in Lagos, whereby the local government is autonomous, and but here we have 21 local government, and the 21 local government, the chairman is being appointed by the state government, and you know, so when the state gives it, that what it allocates to each grassroots, and you know how it ought to be. So if we can do this, if we can get the political system right, then every other thing falls in place. So government has to do with the welfare of the citizens, how things are made, what is the hope of a common man. Like in this country now, we know things are going on. Recently now, every sector, both the Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, and so on and so on, still getting strike. And I'm telling you right now, over the recent development in Imo State, before the election, whereby the president, the chairman, I mean the president precisely came to Imo State over the upcoming election. Then he was mesmerized with beats, like the way they beat the you see the way they pity that man. So he was flying abroad for medical treatment. If we have the good health facility right here, then what is the essence of him traveling out there? So another thing I need to put into consideration is political participation. Political participation is a system whereby every citizen is more concerned about the political system of this country. So I see political participation as what a citizen ought to do. That is a sign of patriotism. So if you are patriotic enough as a citizen, you know that yes, you need to participate in politics, because that political system, the politics, the decision made, they affect every aspect of our life, even your domestic home. The policies made by those at the end of the affair affect you positively, negatively, economically, whichever way it does. Because the government is like for me, government is like the God who we see, because they control every aspect of life. So political participation is a very big, important thing that needs to be considered.
What we're saying in essence is that we, the political warriors, should down our tools and focus more on governance and political participation. Because you know, since any election has always seems as if the war has always been there between the obedience and the controversy. We're saying you think it's time Nigerians just down tools and then focus on good governance and participation.
Talking about good governance. How do you talk about good governance where my principal said the means which used in getting there is more important than the destination? Talking about people. And seeing all that has transpired down from the tribunal down to the Supreme Court, we all know that the judgment was flawed. The mountain of evidence that were presented, none was used while judging the case. So, talking about this governance and the government itself, the people who are handling the affairs right now, they have so much work to do. So much work in the sense that, first off, you need to win back the trust of the people. Because an average Nigerian doesn't trust this government. If we were seated right here now, I could ask everybody here in the studio and 90% of us wouldn't vouch for anything concerning this government. You can imagine, amidst all these problems that we're having, amidst all the cries on the streets, amidst the hardship, the priority of our presidency is getting a new yacht. Who does that?
There is another $56 billion or whatever, which I don't use and buy new vehicles.
New vehicles, firstly.
Oh my God.
Like, the priorities of our elites is appalling. Like, it just shows that they have zero worries about the masses. So on our own part, as the people, I was saying to somebody this morning, I don't think we're angry enough. Because if we were angry enough, we would have looked for a way to shut down this country. Which is, I give all kudos to the NLC and the rest of the associations who are currently on strike. That's a very good step. I know if it was closer to like aftermath of the election, like just after the election, the effect would have been felt more.
Well, we do know that these ones are most majority of people that went on strike, they are all just looking at what they can gain.
Everybody is always looking for what they can gain.
Because it's not like they're looking at the interest of
those persons are part of the Nigerian society. Those persons in those associations are part of the Nigerian society. The Nigerian masses as a whole. If the demands of the Labour Congress is met and is fully covered for, that means my dad, for instance, who might be a teacher, or my mom who is a trader who is part of the association, that means that person is cool with what the government is doing. And at that point, life is now a bit better for that person if their demands are being met. So you understand that gradually it trickles down to every other sector around. And talking about this government, I really like their first major problem is they need to win the trust of the people back. Because you can't come in through the back door with so many questionable actions and all that. And currently our president was in Saudi Arabia. While he was still in Saudi Arabia issued a ban on Nigerian citizens coming into their country. Like, that's the height of disrespect.
No, exactly.
A whole Nigeria is, and our president is made a statement saying that they are having diplomatic ties with Saudi Arabia, this, that, and all of a sudden you're still in the country, no even less, and they issue a ban to your citizens not to come into their country. So the major work for me from them before we can start moving forward is the need to show us that yes, this whole fight they fought to get into power was actually for the good of the people, which I'm not seeing that from the few moves they've already made. I'm not seeing that.
What do you think the common man should do while we wait for them to show the trust?
The common man, the only advice I have for the common man is survive by any means necessary. Survive.
It's
the survival that I was speaking to somebody earlier before now that I stopped on the route to get water here in Anambra as I came back into the town. And one pure water, a sachet of pure water, 15 naira.
About the 700 or 400.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, imagine getting one pure water for 15 naira. Then imagine every other thing, how the prices of every other thing in the market is going to be, because water is like the most common commodity. Then how is it going to be?
Very essential.
So they have a long way to go, because we the common people we just have to figure to survive. That's the way advice I have for the people out there.
So do you think that I'm sorry, Mr. Nweze, you know, you mentioned of the levels of government and all that. You know, governance. Governance and political participation. It's a group effort. Listen, it's not a one-man thing. It's not something one person can just like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Let me fix Nigeria. You understand? Now, do you think Nigerians as a whole, we are all ready, even the person living next door to you, they are ready? Like, okay, if we want this good governance, we will start out today. Because what I'm saying is, when you want good governance, you have to really look at the backlash that comes with it. Now, when we start talking about that, we have to look at a lot of government workers that are going to lose their jobs, a lot of phantom offices that are going to be closed down, a lot of people are going to lose their contract, a lot of things are going to go down. So, do you really think Nigerians, being the Nigerians that we are, do you really think that we're ready for that good governance? Do you really think that we're ready to maybe come back today and hear that your mom or your sisters are moving or they'll be laid off from work, or you now hear something like that your sister certificate, I did not pretend I invested that time and then the certificate has been withdrawn. Do you think we're ready for that?
Well, you know, I talked about political participation, and just like you said, political participation and good governance, they are like interwoven, they're in a way related. So, first of all, for we to be able to get ready, we need to do what? Participate, like fully involved in our civic politics. We have to, not every citizen of Nigeria have their voters card. Regardless, I know the fact that during the election there are some things that are being maneuvered, one thing or the other. Definitely, we know we're in a cruel war and all of that. But you need to do what you got to do. Like now, let me take you to the north now. Sorry for going too far, actually. In the northern part of Nigeria, they participate more in politics.
Now, you make it feel like they participate more.
They do. They are doing more.
they make it similar. They make it simple and they make it easy for their people. It's not like they participate. They make it know what they're doing. Exactly. They know that simple participation. The person has to be aware. For me to participate, so I have to know what I'm doing. It's not one from the question. It's not one you wake up in the morning, you just don't say, I better come and get the share rice and just go there. Yeah, you put out a day, I come out of it. You don't even know what you're doing.
One question you asked. If a lot of Nigerians are prepared for a good change, to be honest with you, if not 100%, 70% of Nigerians are not ready for Nigeria.
They're not ready.
Well, because to be honest with you, the corruption has eaten so deep into the system. That's even down to myself. I am not the same. So to be honest with you, the level of corruption we have in this country, but at least to an extent, for somebody at his level, to be able to beat his chest and say, go back, I have said these things for over 8 years. Go back, look at my records. 9 years to a very crucial election. If you can get one issue against him, I will stop. For 9 months, nobody came up with anything. So to an extent now, missed at this point. A man like that is the same to me. That aside, talking about a working Nigeria, many of us are not ready for a working Nigeria. Because down to trader who is even complaining that things are not so soon and all that, you check the exchange rate and you're going to the market. For instance, they say the dollar is selling to naira at 1,002, for instance, and maybe yesterday was about 800. You get to the market, they're already selling at that rate. They'll tell you that if you don't increase the money, you can't buy anything without the market. Now, when the naira against the dollar, you go to the market, then they bought at the old rate, and they can't reduce the price. But it wasn't hard for you to increase the price when the dollar went up. So, a whole lot of bad examples are there in Nigeria when it comes to people who are ready for working Nigeria. Because even down to them in school, say, you will see people who say they serious, they write on their own, they don't even know the book. You as a man, you come outside and you're angry at that person because the person will not tell you outside. That's you being a bad citizen. So there are so many factors to check around, and you see that many of us are not ready for working Nigeria. But it's better when we get to that, we don't sign up on Nigerians that we can adapt. Yeah. We always adapt. Because in every family, you have siblings, if not yourself, who have been outside the country. We're able to adapt to those good societies. So why can't we adapt to that good society back here? If you start working, we'll adapt to that. That's what I think about it.
Okay. So,
for me, I think that let me just say about 70% of Nigerian citizens are willing for a change. You know that if you look at the hardship in the country right now, you know that every person, like virtually including you and I, each and every one, forget about all these smiling face that we are putting on.
It's a struggle.
The struggle. Nigeria is a country whereby it's now a struggle for the fittest. So whoever survives this stage goes up to the next stage. So, and the more people are dying and losing their lives and all of that. So they say that power is not giving, power is taking. So there is a need for a revolution, just like you said mentioned earlier, like with what is really happening now, the Labour Congress and all of that, taking strike is one of the ways to draw the attention of the government. So if these people who are in that those what do they call it, the public servants and so on, the Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress and so on and so forth, is there because it's through this union that the government can intercede to the poor masses. So when those unions do what? Come together like now, draw the attention of the government. It shows for me, it shows that if they are willing to do so, that means more Nigerians are willing to follow themselves because they, in a way, are also looking for our own interest. Just like when the price of fuel increased, they gave the government how many weeks, is it a week or thereabout? I can't remember actually, platinum, that if they don't reduce the price of petrol, definitely they're going on indefinite strike before they were later called to backdoor and so on. They settle themselves. In a way, everyone are looking for their own interest. For me, we are ready. Some persons are ready. Like I said, there is never a way. There is never a generalization. There is never a way you can have 100%. Those that will be ready with the torture and suffering that is going on in the life of the citizen. I really think that 70% are ready to stand up. And how do we do that? We do that by participating. Like, there is a significance about participation in everything. It's only through that participation that we can hold those in power accountable. I don't know if you're trying to get my point. Okay. So I do believe that was okay. Let's back to the topic. The presidential election that just passed. I believe that there are more participants. You can see what evolved, how everything metamorphosed. There are more participants than
about this
earlier years.
The next election, I promise you that the participation level is going to drop.
Let me ask you something. You said something about talking about participation. How do you participate in a game that has already been rigged? It's too hard for a opponent to play. Now, you said participation. Where you want to get money, do campaign. Where you want to get money, do the necessary grassroots work and all that they are supposed to do. The field work, where are you supposed to get the funds? Then it's obvious, only the form alone. The money you buy the form alone, you try to do breathe out for your house.
See, as when it comes to that aspect, I would reference you to China. In China, you don't just wake up and decide you want to become a leader. You must have crossed different benchmarks. Starting from when you were in school, you would have been like a class prefect or something like that. You would have owned a company that has a staff of about 10,000 or thereabout. Like they have different. Someone like Joe Biden can't run for president in China. That's the level of scrutiny. So that's not many broke people. Let's use the word. I'm sorry if it's
an average Nigerian. Actually,
that goes into the presidential seats. Me and you know, if you've not seen that kind of funds before, you're most likely to bend to whatever you see.
You're most likely to do it.
You're most likely to bend to the tone of Nigerian.
Imagine has the idea of person.
Bro,
person is.
You never knew the temptation we faced.
Let me say that to you. You know the problem we have is sometimes we deceive ourselves that there is one good governance anywhere in this world. There's no good governance. It's just that there are people that are good at covering their tracks. Now let me give you a small example now. Let's say as we did for this Nigeria now, they elect me as president. Yeah? I think my first 4 days, I saw one mission say Nigeria they get steady lights.
2 seconds.
Do you understand? No, it's not going to be 2 seconds because do you know what's going to be 2 seconds? Most of the political donators, as you call them, are into this importation of fuel, importation of generators. So they will not fight you. So it's going to take some time, a lot of lobbying, a lot of 1 or 2 movements to get it working. How you finally get it working after 4 years? Now, even if you by some other ways Nyango and embezzle some funds, do you know that if at each point in time every president in that 4 years choose at least one project that person choose, do you know that let's say in 20 years
this country
the place where we go dey, you know the believe. But the sad point is that you have a governor and you have a president that comes in, drops everything. I think came with 7 points and the next person came in with 4. This one
we have different agenda.
You drop everything that other person was doing and start
No, I should start afresh.
They just keep repeating it.
So like you said, if you thief smartly, our politicians are not stealing.
They don't. No, it's not like they not so much disrespect. Because I don't understand someone wake up and tell me that why someone needs to just work and swear.
Like, even I say they are more politically minded.
It's because nobody's going to send it in the first place. Nobody's going to send it. That's what they have in mind. Nobody's dealing about it. Tomorrow now they'll come out and say they need to treat the president broke his hand, so they have to treat him. Nobody's there to check with them, so they do what they want.
It's just like we said, even if you want to focus on political participation, it's going to be hard for the common man to focus on political participation. If we want to focus on good governance, that means we have to start with ourselves for the good governance.
And like I said, it's only when they die, the state actors. It's only when they get the things right. It was
you know how they get the things right.
That is what we are. Like I said, people who have the power are those who are more politicians. They are not there for their own interest.
If you give me the kind of thing we give, you will get the things right.
Everybody, like the other persons can never be.
That's what the talk. If you ask me, I would say that now that the government have come about, everybody should say, it's your ha. Do you understand?
Just like Zugos said, I think me and you are not ready enough. Because we be ready enough.
Sometimes
people now for don't collect, just break them for road. You understand? Maybe that's how they. It's not like that. Please just tell us what you think. Like this whole journey don't pass. What do you think is the next step for Nigeria? We love you guys so much. This is S2E13 signing out with Zugos and Mr. Emeh, David, and official